One major gripe I have with the typical anime rom-com format is the will they won't they dynamic. Though there are a lot of great shows that stick to this mold, there is a big risk in making your show revolve around a single character dynamic. If the thrill of waiting for a couple to get together isn't strong enough, or if the wait drags on for too long without any sense of progression, you might lose your audience partway through the ride. Constantly going into these types of shows blind or based on faint recommendation and coming out disillusioned fatigue my interest in the genre as a whole. I pretty much spent an entire year cold turkey from anime. I was busy with other things at the time, up until the summer of 2017, when I was introduced to... Tsurezure Children, or Tsurezure Children, I'm not really sure, is a romantic comedy by Wakabayashi Toshiya. As at the time of writing, it's received one 12-episode season that aired in the summer of 2017, and a 212 Chapter 4 coma that wrapped up 1 year later. The show has you follow the lives of several high schoolers, all at different points in their adolescent relationships. The typical will they won't they dynamic you would find in your average rom-com series is only left to a select group of couples, and by the time you meet everyone, you'll find yourself watching new relationships starting, or in the midst of ones that have already begun. This ensemble of loosely connected love stories is how Tsurezure Children takes its unique approach to the genre. The 4-panel gag structure ensures that you only see highlights of the manga's 20-plus relationships, and the anime chooses to adapt this format by airing 12-minute-long episodes and only opting to show you 3 or 4 stories per episode. This circumvents problems I usually have with the will they won't they dynamic. By constantly rotating stories in and out over the course of the season or volume, you won't be fatigued by the overexposure of a pair. While a few couple stories drag on until the very end, the varying stages of other characters' relationships presents a diverse array of interesting narratives. These measures ensure that you won't be frustrated or bored for too long if a pair you dislike is on screen. The anime adaptation also drops some of the couples from the manga, instead opting to strengthen their current roster by telling more stories of the characters we already know. This ensures that the show's limited runtime isn't spread too thin amongst too many couples and helps you get invested in the ones that are featured this season. However, the decision to not heavily invest in one pair by the author does lead to some drawbacks for potential readers. Due to the nature of this type of storytelling, you won't find anything super deep in this fluff-filled 4-coma adaptation. You may be frustrated by the progression or ending of some of the couples. I certainly was, but that's a discussion for another time. However, despite these problems, Tsurezure Children was a really nice change of pace, especially at a time when the typical rom-com format was starting to grow a little stale for me. It didn't exactly provide a gut-wrenching, melodramatic romance, but it isn't trying to. It's a fluffy, lighthearted, and adorable read that feels great, and with an anime that's basically its own best moments compilation, it's good enough for me. Tsurezure Children gets a solid 8 out of 10. The anime unfortunately ended on a cliffhanger for the next arc, but the manga isn't too long, and you'll have a good time if you're interested. Just be sure to start from the beginning to introduce yourself to the couples they dropped from the anime. Thanks for watching.